tonight we will be talking about all the ways you can polish your manuscript before you send it off to your editor. I'm going to be covering some things that should be kind of like red flags to you before you ship it out. Like I said, I am Nancy Basile. I am a mystery author. I've published 5 books so far, self-published. I do use an editor and I pay a professional cover designer and all the things that a traditional publishing house would do. I just do it myself. I have a question for you before we jump into these red flags for your manuscript. What is your biggest hurdle when it comes to writing a book? Is it writer's block? Is it coming up with ideas? Or is it once you have the idea, you just kind of spin your wheels chapter after chapter? I want you to tell me in the comments or in the chat what your biggest hurdle is, and then maybe we can share how to get over some of those, okay? I am going to, at this point, share my screen. I got my little notes here. This is the main reason why I bought Fictionary. And this is harder to do by hand with your own paperwork and your own DIY. It can be done. It can be done, but it is tougher. So what is this? Well, this is the classic story art. This is how every story, every good story should go. You have your inciting incident early on, usually around, I don't know, the 10% mark. More and more inciting incidents are happening as soon as the movie, TV show, or book opens. And I have a video about that on my channel called The Death of Exposition, if you want to check that out. So this inciting incident should happen around 10%. The first plot point where, oh, now the protagonist world, they have to make a decision at this point. Something's happened to force them to decision. The middle 2 paths they have to choose from, either to go back or move forward. Plot point 2, ooh, things are looking rough. Dark night of the soul. They have to do something. This is their lowest point. The climax, everything comes to a head. Everything's figured out, or the war takes place, or the couple comes together, whatever, and then the denouement. So this is the pacing. This blue line is the perfect pacing of how that story should go. The middle point should be 50%. You know, plot point 1 is usually around 25%. Plot point 2 is 65 to 70%. Climax is usually around 85%, and then the rest. You can do that yourself by looking at your word counts and your chapters. You can, count the total words, again, using Google Docs, Word, or an online word counter. And then you can look at the percentages. So it requires a little bit of math, but then you can see, did my inciting incident take place at the right time? Is the middle coming where it should? Is that decision that the protagonist has to make in the middle coming at the 50% mark? If you have a Kindle or you read with a Kindle app, I do, or any kind of ebook reader, this is really easy to see when you're reading books, especially really good ones. Because if you're reading a really good book, and even the not so great books still follow this rule, when you're getting to that 50% mark, something big is going to happen, right? When you're getting to the 30% mark that the couple's going to have their first kiss. When you're getting to the 75, 80% mark that, the couple's going to break up, or something's going to split them up, and then they got to figure out what to do about it, or the battle's coming, or whatever. You can see that percentage at the bottom of your reader so that you can kind of anticipate what's coming down the pike. And that applies to when you write your book. Fictionary figures it out for you, or you can, like I said, do the math and figure it out yourself. If you are way off on any of these points, and I have loaded up manuscripts and been way off, I suggest you go back and move some stuff around, edit, do whatever you need to do to make it pace better. This is like an innate sense that we've all built within ourselves, whether it's a movie, a TV show, within an episode even, or a book. We all are expecting things to happen at a certain point. And when they don't, when the middle is running too long, or there's not enough time between plot point 2 and the climax, it feels rushed. The reader can sense it. They might not understand what they're sensing, but they can sense it. So I suggest that you go back and figure that out. Thank you all so much for joining me for this live video. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you for sticking around to the end. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel to get more writing advice and book reviews. I'd love to see you under those subscriber numbers. And again, I sincerely appreciate you for being here. If you have any questions about any of those red flags, how to figure them out, or any of the apps I've talked about, just let me know and I'll get back to you.